Hello, bonjour everyone. My name is Joelle, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Power Thesaurus, but most importantly, how to use words powerfully. So we all want our students to use great words, and in the past, we pull out one of these. Mine is even labeled with my name, grade 5, room 205. We all had one, and there's lots of great stuff in here. But as you know, you look up a word, and you'd be confronted with a page that looks like this. And although there's a lot of fantastic words on here, this is not very accessible for a lot of our students. It's quite overwhelming, especially for our younger students. And it's just a lot of bulk, a lot of paper. It's not really how we work anymore. So Power Thesaurus is one way that you can get your students to have access to all the words in a thesaurus, but without the paper. So here we go. Power Thesaurus is a website that now has a Chrome extension. And when you go onto the website, powerthesaurus.org, you can just type in a word. Let's type in a word here, bad. So here we go. And you have lots of different words. Now they have synonyms, antonyms. Antonyms are opposites. Synonyms are other words that mean the same thing, and it's actually crowdsourced, so a little bit like Wikipedia. You can vote on it, and that will affect the rating, but there's also kind of a human background, people that do go in and just make sure everything's on the up and up. So that is how the website works. There are ads on this website, so that's just a heads up for people who are working with kids in schools. If you go into the Google Chrome store, you can get this extension. It is free. Mine's already added, so you won't see how I added it, but when you click add, it will ask for permission to view and modify everything on your computer, basically. I looked into that. It seems a little scary. It's pretty much what all apps do on our computers. If you're unsure and you're using a school account, talk to your IT people at your school. They may be able to guide you a little bit better. I read through it. I thought it was okay. I clicked go. There you go. So here I am. I am in my Google Docs, and you can see up in my corner here I have this little Power Thesaurus button. Power Thesaurus. You see it? I highlight it. And I start to type a little story, a little bit like how students might type. He was a good boy who liked dogs. Come here, doggy, the boy said. And then I went to go to my word, good. And I went to go to my Power Thesaurus. And look what happens. Nothing. Based on the advertisement, I was under the impression that I could even just kind of right-click it and get some ideas. But no, that's not how it works, unless you're in Google Plus or Gmail. So if I'm here, I double-click the word, I have my Power Thesaurus button right there, and here's the top 5. I had selected in my settings just to show me the top 5, synonyms and antonyms, by a right-click. So quite useful when you're typing an email. You have your synonyms and your antonyms. But again, if you can't select it and have it replaced automatically. But you do have some good choices there, and certainly I could see using Power Thesaurus in email context. But I don't usually write stories in an email context. I usually write my stories in my Google Docs. So I started looking more deeply and thinking, maybe this isn't the best extension to be reviewing after all. Well, a little more research, and actually it's because we don't need anything else, because if you just right-click and you go to Define Good, you end up with your Google Dictionary right here. Now your Google Dictionary is much more overwhelming than just giving 5 words, that's for sure. However, you do have your list, and what I like is that a lot of them are hyperlinks, so that gives you that kind of offset of the blue and the black text, makes certain words stand out differently than others, makes it a bit easier to read. And when you click that word, you get to that word's definition and then also synonyms of that word. So that just kind of helps students figure out if they're on the right track. Whenever I talk to students about using synonyms, using a thesaurus, I often suggest they look for verbs, those are the action words, and adjectives, the describing words. I avoid using a thesaurus for nouns, because if you are looking for a noun in a thesaurus, for example, boy, you end up with words like lad, schoolboy, fledgling, and those kinds of words really might change the nature of what a student is trying to say, whereas a word like good you have a lot of words like excellent, exceptional, wonderful, kind of regular words that might not fully change the character of the story. Same with if you go with a word like, admire, respect, esteem. So again, I always try and help students look towards adjectives, describing words, and also verbs, action words, for which words they're going to use a thesaurus for. And of course, I'll type up right here some of the key words that we'd like students to modify would be good, bad, said. Those are kind of the top three. And I would even say great as our overused words. So as I said, this was meant to be all about Power Thesaurus, but then I thought, not quite what I'm going for. If you do have access to Google Read and Write, the full educational suite, through your school account, really nothing beats that in terms of accessibility and learning tools. But if you're just looking for something simple to use at home, you can always go to the Define tool in your Google Docs, or again, if you are in your email, you can use Power Thesaurus, or you could use the Lookup tool if you're in your email, and it shows you here. A little more overwhelming than Power Thesaurus, but that's just kind of to show you the different options. And last but not least, I thought I would just show you one other activity, because it really is about pedagogy. One of the things that was really important for kids is having a diversity of words to describe their feelings. So one kind of meaningful thesaurus type activity that kids can do in groups so that we foster conversation is looking at the mood meter. Now the mood meter is a tool developed by the Yale School for Emotional Intelligence, and just very briefly, you've got 4 quadrants. As you go up in energy, and down you go down in energy, high energy, low energy. When you go to the right on the x-axis, on the bottom, that's more pleasant feelings and less pleasant feelings. So you can see up in the top right, it's high energy and super pleasant, super happy, and top left, it's high energy, super angry, and bottom left, like really, really sad and really low energy, and bottom right, really calm, but really low energy, and everything in between. So happy, angry, sad, and calm, those are kind of the overall words, but we want students to have even deeper words. So this could be a kind of activity that kids could work on in groups, and they could look here, define happy, and find which other word might really fit well. Okay, I see this word cheery, or joyful. How much energy does that suggest? How much pleasantness does that suggest? And every group that works on this will have different words, and every group will have just different ideas on which is the best word to put where. So I thought this was a nice way of using a thesaurus in a non-conventional way to really improve kids' vocabularies and improve their emotional intelligences at the same time. So if you're going with Power Thesaurus, or just the built-in tools right in Google, or even good old Roger, there's lots of ways for kids to find juicy words, and adults too. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.